Hey, it's MJ from the Coaches Panel. We are nearly halfway through your SuperCoach season. How you going, by the way? Comment below and let us know if you're having a good season and what your rank is right now. But as we get to the middle portions of the season, we start to make some significant moves with our side. Our team value and team health through the bench hygiene, through the way we've been able to manage our upgrade cadence starts to mean we're getting a truer picture of where our team is situated in the hope to winning the big grand cash prize at the end of the year. But with the trades you're making right now, you're looking for value, aren't you? So I'm wanting to give you seven players that I think could present supreme value and be really good inclusions to consider this week in your SuperCoach side. First up, I didn't think I'd ever suggest this one, but the things around Alex Sexton have changed over the past week. He was popular in our starting squads. He's still in a bunch of teams too, as that cash cow we couldn't have got rid of. But as a defensive forward, now a little bit over $200,000, he stepped into that vacant distribution role that Will Powell is unable to fulfill for at least the next 4 weeks with that imposed suspension by the club. And that 82, while not a massive score, is certainly relative to the price you pay. But the good news around Will is actually around the commentary from their coach, Damien Hardwick, in their press conference. He said around Alex that there were some things he needed to work on and was sent back to the VFL to work on those things. And on as the basis of what he saw this week, he believes he's seen all those key components. You see that development and now the opportunity with the club's suspension around Powell. It means we've got another 4 weeks of scoring in this halfback role for Alex Sexton. And this is perfect. He gives you a way to get out of either a dead cash cow, either on your bench in your forward or defensive lines, or just to top out some value that you may have made of a Matt Roberts potentially and turn that money into another upgrade somewhere else. He offers squad versatility in 2 positions on the field and a little bit of buy coverage in those first couple of weeks. The good news is that 4-week gap of Will Powell out of the side, and Sexton, I believe, now has that spot up until he returns, almost lines up beautifully for that Suns mid-season buy, and you can very quickly put another 150K on top of whatever he generates from here, and you could probably just about get the most attainable defender around that 500, 550K marker. So a really enticing prospect in a line where a lot of people still have dead options at D8, whether it be a Reed, whether it be Caulfield, whether it be a Marty Hort. We still need some cash generation. At the very least, he offers you a ticket off that. At the very best, he could be able to just be a nice squad versatile mover and allows you to make another upgrade this week. I didn't think I'd say this a week ago, but Alex Sexton, if you're wanting to get an option under 250K, not go all the way down, yeah, maybe this is a bargain. In at number 2, James Harms, just priced under 350K. It's just a touch under Sam Darcy's price point. It's like $700, but it's a touch under there nonetheless. His past 2 weeks have been really, really strong. Arguably a ceiling score for the year with that 139, let alone that 90. He's freed of the vest, kicked a handful of goals last week, but also is finding a way to get into distribution opportunities across this halfback line for the Bulldogs. So getting opportunities at both ends of the ground and scoring pretty well. We've all bemoaned the lack of quality in the forwards this year. And while Harms is certainly not somebody I'd be happy to hold up until round 24, again, as an option that you're looking for a potential discount to get you through to the buys, maybe you're looking at, man, I don't have a Heaney, maybe I don't have a Zorko, and it's so close to that round 12 buy, I want no piece of it. All of a sudden, this creates your pathway to get there with hopefully some reasonable scoring 80 plus. Let's not expect the 139 every week. And then you can quickly in a 3 or 4 weeks time, flip him into that premium that you don't have in that forward line that you feel much more confident in. I think he's probably got $100,000 or so to go to be able to generate over the next month. And if he can do that and give you 80 plus scoring, then that's someone you've really got to consider. Not everybody's looking for an option in the ruck, but if you are, then maybe Todd Goldstein is an option. You can see a bunch of different scoring just over there get your directions right, MJ, that really means there's been a little bit of volatility. One of the primary reasons, he's been sharing a ruck role with Sam Draper. But Draper's out for the foreseeable component of the future. If you're ready to move off a Tristan Cherry, for example, who had a tough matchup, let's give him that against the Gold Coast Suns. But if you want to keep that cash generation going, if you want to play the loophole game a little bit more with a Darcy and see which you like the matchups more, do all of those options. You absolutely can do that. But if you're looking cheap, we know Todd Goldstein's history in SuperCoach is elite. A 95 last week, under 400K, can free up a ton of cash if you want to go that way. It's not for everybody, but it's absolutely a play. Hey, have you noticed working your way through this video that the prices are going up? Yeah, we started at the cheapest and we're working our way right up towards the top. The next, Jayden Short. He has dropped a ton of cash from his starting price. I included him in the 50 most relevant countdown during the preseason and was really bullish on the fact that I think with the lack of quality that's through this Richmond side and a rebuilding team, let's be honest, they've won 3 out of the last, 8, 9 premierships. They're going to have hit a bit of a speed bump, which it's clearly now. They're going to see a little bit more ball in their defensive half, and that's good opportunity for Jayden Short. Well, up until 2 weeks ago, that really hasn't been the case for 2024. But the past couple of weeks, we've started to see that scoring, that run and carry and distribution return, even some better effective use of the ball. But at under 400K, and a really handy option for people that are, again, wanting to jump off of Matt Roberts this week and don't have a lot of attainable cash. He's got a history of pushing that 100+ marker from an average perspective. Yes, it's in years gone by of a successful Richmond era, but as long as he's fit, and that's the big criteria, I don't see why Jayden Short isn't pushing an average of 90+ from here, which is great value at under 400,000. At worst, he's someone you run through till the Richmond mid-season buy. At best, he goes 100, or in somewhere in the middle, he becomes the guy that you just fade to D7 and build that squad depth as your trades start to run out. Yeah, that's going to happen in a couple of rounds' time, like 8 of them, but that's going to happen soon enough for some coaches. So building some depth that's not a cash cow and just phasing him to that spot might just be a play. So if you're really limited on your cash of what you can do, you only got 400K and you want to make a move in your back line, you could do worse than with Jayden Short. 3 players left to go. I don't think anyone should be surprised to see this name in the mix. Clayton Oliver, a little underwhelming with that 87, but this year and of the past couple of years now under Michael Voss, this Carlton midfield is quite tricky to score against. But Clayton Oliver's work on the outside of getting to uncontested possessions, that spread that means that he can get those marks, those extra disposals. There was a bunch of free kicks that didn't go towards him. He got burnt by a few teammates. Really, to me, that's the sort of game that Clary would do normally, sort of 100, 105. But he's a guy that's got this history of going 120, and we're paying under 500K for. A lot of people jumped on last week. If you didn't get there, you still can, because this Melbourne run is looking good. Everything that I would look to as an indicator for Clayton is there. His scoring from stoppage is back. His scoring on transition is back. He is tackling. He's spreading. He's running out games still with full strength. And I think at under 500K, he is too much of a bargain to ignore. Again, if you didn't get him last week for whatever reason, maybe you were just copping carnage bullets left, right, and center, the low-ish score of an 87 just means he's still pretty attainable for you. So I'd be pretty happy to go and get myself a Clayton Oliver if I didn't have him. 2 more to go. I'm staying in the midfield for them, and maybe this one's controversial, but LDU at the start of the year was someone I was bullish that was going to push a 115 average for the season. And in the first 2 weeks, I looked pretty right about that. But then there was that weird 3-week patch of the year, didn't crack a 90, even had that one score of 67, was really, really poor. But over the last month, his form while not hitting those big monster 120 plus scores that we know is within his wheelhouse, that scoring has started to return. I mean, check that out a little bit. 3 tons, a 90 for a 528K. Okay, it's not crazy value, but there's enough fat on the bone for you to be able to consider him. Now, are you doing it this week? Probably not. They've got the bye in a couple of weeks, but definitely you could do worse than that. Lastly, we've got to talk about Christian Petracca. Oh, he, much like his teammate Clayton Oliver, has been a little bit up and down in his scoring this year. And while he started like a house on fire, what we know about CP5 is he'll always give us a little glimpse of a week or two where he's not quite at his best. He gets himself affordable, and then he'll run straight back to that 115, 120 plus average that we know he's capable of. We saw that 134, lots of goals required to be able to do it this week, but off the back of a couple of 90s, that 50 has now dropped out of his price cycle. It's really been impacting his scoring. I think you've got the opportunity now that if you want to get on the Petracca train, now's as good a time as any. Now, are you picking him over Clary? Look, probably not. But if you don't own Track and do own Clary, and it fits your buy structure, it's the most expensive of the bargains. But honestly, he's been so good for so long. I think he's someone you can consider. But do you agree or disagree with these 7 possible breakout options? Have you got an option that you think is such good value that people playing SuperCoach heading into this new round of footy need to consider? Well, comment below and let me know who you think's the best value bargain heading into this round. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, it's not too late. You can do that. Just click the button and you'll be subscribed. Turn the notifications on so as soon as a new episode goes live, you find out about it straight away. And if you want to join our Patreon supporter group, get a ton of additional bonus content that you don't get anywhere else. Yep, we don't release it anywhere other than to our Patreons. All the details are in the description of this episode. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll be back with you talking more SuperCoach really, really soon.